Relationships can frequently feel like tackling a challenging puzzle, particularly when it comes to comprehending how which displays attraction and recognize that attraction is a natural strong force, yet the way it shows up can differ significantly between men and women. Among the most complex features of this, women tend to communicate dynamically. Their interest, in contrast to men who might be more outspoken and straightforward in expressing their allure, many women rely on nonverbal clues that are subtle, using nonverbal cues to convey their. Often, these small cues aren't regarding a lack of enthusiasm or ambiguity, but instead they are frequently originating from millennia of social and cultural preconditioning that has urged women to use greater restraint in displaying their sexual or romantic interest, despite women's feelings of desire and attraction with the same ferocity as men. The manner in which they convey these emotions tends to be more subdued, fragile, and subtle. Why this is the case and how can you stop these behaviors from developing? Recognize them in order to construct more powerful and significant connections. Comprehending the causes. The secret lies behind these subliminal clues. To decipher them, some women may show interest in various methods for a variety of reasons. Sentimental, social, or even individual, and being adept at identifying these indicators will help you have a better understanding of how attraction is effective. But before we get started, these particular indicators and how women, when they show curiosity, we must look in the past. These actions didn't simply show up overnight. They've been influenced by millennia of cultural anticipations, historical effects, and historical and emotional background, emotional aspects that are still relevant. Take a moment today to contemplate and have you ever encountered a circumstance where you was unable to determine whether someone was intrigued by you? Perhaps you've been conversing with someone for some time, and you begin to question whether she is interested in. It's possible that she's just being friendly. You've overlooked minute clues without even, we'll break it down today after realizing it. These indicators examine the causes of them and, most all, assist you comprehend how to read them in order that you can grow more powerful and more important connections. Your assistance is crucial to us, so please subscribe and join us on this trip by calling one that is both emotional and historical background to fully understand the nuances of. We must understand how women express their attraction. Take a step back. Look at the historical and cultural factors that have influenced this conduct over centuries historically. Men's and women's responsibilities have been very dissimilar, and these disparities have had a significant effect on how men and women approach connections and display romance interest. Historically, women were frequently urged to maintain modesty and reserve, particularly with regards to issues of appeal and sexuality. At times such as for instance, during the Victorian era, women were anticipated to refrain from overt expressions of love or longing, for these anticipations were closely linked to the values of society. Regarding virtue, the reputation of a lady and her modesty, being overtly interested in a man could have grave repercussions, including receiving strong criticism from either harming society or even one's irreversibly damaged reputation. For numerous ladies of at the time, modesty wasn't only encouraged, it was necessary, with any being brazen in romantic pursuits is common, seen as scandalous or unsuitable dynamics of emotion. Here behavior builds upon the notion of repute and its impact on women's conduct in various cultural contexts and specific periods. For instance, in 1850, numerous of the world with comparable expectations existed in Asia, Europe, or the women in the Middle East were instructed to handle connections with care, showing just enough curiosity to be regarded as appealing, but not to the extent that they put society at danger. Judgment, despite the fact that society has developed in numerous ways throughout history. Expectations haven't completely vanished. Traces of this social norms are still in place today, particularly in women in more strict cultures may believe that expressing sexual or romantic, too much direct interest could result in them being misinterpreted or classified. Hence, they frequently use more nuanced nonverbal cues to convey the allure of these actions. Have been integrated into the structure of the way that women are shaped by contemporary dating culture. Approach. Relationships allow for comparisons between various eras and civilizations, talking on how some cultures are more candid about expressing love, while others continue to be more conservative, which can assist the viewers in comprehending the worldwide and the impact of history on the present. Appeal, in addition to historical emotional dynamics, are a component that vital part in women's expression. For many women, attraction is an emotional link is an essential part of romantic interest while being physically. Although attraction is crucial, it's frequently not the primary focus in the initial phases of. Instead, many women would rather be in a relationship. To build a strong foundation of confidence and closeness of emotion prior to expressing their emotions publicly, which is the reason they frequently decide to show interest in more subtle ways. Subtle motions. By first establishing an emotional rapport, women establish a secure environment where they feel more at ease. Disclosing their attraction provides instances of emotional dynamics to demonstrate the idea. For example, you might say, imagine a woman who is considering someone. Even if she could experience an initial, she might be reluctant to show her attraction physically until she experiences. Being emotionally linked does not imply she has no interest in. Instead, she's searching for something more profound than mere physical arousal. Touching. It's about building a relationship that surpasses superficial appeal and penetrates a person's emotional center. The second possible relationship is subtle. What are the indications of attraction? Let's break the subtle indicators of attraction. It begins with one of the very physical contact, or common touch, is one of the strongest convincing signs that a woman wants to date you, but it's not. It's always clear that these touches are not. They are frequently unintentional or random. Intentional little actions intended to try things out and see how you respond. For instance, in a discussion, a woman may touch your arm lightly or shoulder while she chuckles at your joking or expressing an idea. These are deliberate actions meant to create a feeling of intimacy without going beyond any boundary. I know. But how can you tell the difference between a touch that is pleasant and one that indicates romantic involvement? However, the secret is in frequency and context. If she constantly comes up with reasons to touch you, she rushes past you as she passes, jokingly nudge you or putting her hand on your back, which indicates that she's at ease with you and probably drawn to delve further into certain situations that explain to her how touch can increase with time. For example, you two are seated adjacent to one another at a bistro. Initially, she may gently tap your. Later on, she makes a point with her arm. She puts her hand on your hand during the talk. Shoulder. As you lean in to discuss, these slow touches are frequently obvious cues of increasing interest, even though they appear body language innocent. At another important factor is first body language. Sign of a woman's attraction express their interest via the how they arrange themselves in relation to you. A woman who is interested in you may, when you're speaking, bend closer, her body in your direction, or reflect your movements closely. Observe her stance when her arms are loose and extended and she is immediately facing you. It's an indication that she is at ease. And making eye contact with someone is another women's communication instrument of choice. Attraction. If she keeps looking at you for longer than typical or frequently makes eye, she's probably attempting to make contact. A connection. This becomes even more noticeable when combined with a smile or amusement, the combination of the eyes. Making eye contact and grinning is among the most clear indications of her interest in what she's doing with you on a physical and emotional level, expressing her enjoyment of your company. Elaborate on the various kinds of eyes. Interaction, like quick looks, as opposed to long staircases, and how each one expresses a varying degrees of appeal. For instance, if she's providing you with frequent but quick looks, it can indicate that she's intrigued, but yet a little. However, she may be timid or uncertain if she maintains eye contact for a lengthy time. When she smiles, it's obvious that she's at ease and totally involved in the third interaction. Modifies voice and individual. In addition to touch and body, space. The way a woman's voice varies in language can be a powerful sign of attraction as well. When a woman shows interest in that person, her voice can become softer and more close or tender during discussions. This shift in tone is frequently unconscious, yet it indicates that she wants to and feels at ease with you. Establish a more intimate environment. You may also hear her voice turning into more lighthearted or taunting as the discussion goes on, which is another obvious indication of attraction provides examples too. For example, she could chuckle softer at even if your jokes aren't especially amusing or lowering her voice. When discussing a personal matter, this change in tone of voice suggests that she's lowering her defenses and luring you in nearer. On an emotional level, you might also observe that the voice gets more animated when she's eager to impart knowledge with you, expressing her interest even more in strengthening the connectivity. Another important indicator of when a woman extends an invitation, you are attracted. Into her private area are revered, and when a woman lets you enter hers, it's a clear sign of this lacks curiosity and trust. Not imply that physical contact is immediately on the table. It's more about her being at ease enough to spend time together in a more intimate or fourth personal setting, although some women love to dress up by nature. Therefore, if you see that she's paying close attention to, observe her appearance when she's with you, it's frequently a subtly indicating her desire to capture your eye. This endeavor could show up in, there were several ways she could pick an outfit. That accentuates her body, use more applying more makeup than normal, or styling her hair in the manner in which she is aware that these little adjustments could appear straightforward. Yet they are frequently conscious decisions meant to aim at creating a favorable impression by giving her more consideration. Look, she's demonstrating to you that she appreciates your focus by providing particular. For instance, she might pick an outfit that draws attention to her excellent qualities or uses a favorite scent that she is aware of fantastic, even minor adjustments, like adding a new accessory or working harder into her hairdo, could be her method of indicating that she is considering how you'll notice that she's paying attention to. Detail is more than just a matter of vanity. It's a representation of her wish to experience. Number 5. Attractive in your presence. How to now that you're aware of these? Reply. Attraction indicators are the next crucial. Knowing how to react to the key is the first step. This is to pay attention and be mindful. Without being overbearing, the most effective method to react by imitating her actions in tiny indicators of whether she's leaning in, or you can gently touch your arm. Return the favor by bending closer or positioning. You place these little reflective fingers on hers. Acts produce a feeling of balance and demonstrate that you're in agreement. It's crucial to participate emotionally if she confides in you about her emotions. Ideas or individual experiences make yes, you're listening intently and nodding. Keeping eye contact and reacting. Demonstrate your appreciation for what? According to her, revealing your own showing vulnerability is another essential element for developing emotional. Don't be scared to open up about intimacy. This degree of emotional bonding that frequently establishes the foundation for a more powerful, enduring partnership provide particular suggestions on how to react to various signs, such as if she's using gentle touches to engage you. Reciprocate the gesture in a polite and politely. If she's disclosing private information, stories exchange information in return about oneself that fosters confidence and avoiding emotional rapport. Number 6. One type of miscommunication is of the most prevalent difficulties in interactions, particularly in the early phases because attraction is frequently communicated by subliminal cues. It's simple to misread these indicators or consider yourself again. If you're ever uncertain about her degree of interest in the best thing to do is to request clarity in a courteous and requesting clarity non-aggressive manner. Just communicating your emotions and requesting her ideas might assist in removing any confusion and fortify the bond. You may utter something like, I truly appreciate our time together, and I would like to know your thoughts on where. The way things are going creates the opportunity for open dialogue, without going too far, significant strain on the situation. By starting this discussion, you're demonstrating your respect for her sentiments and are eager to construct a partnership founded on mutual comprehension. Offer more illustrations of how to pose these queries organically without causing discomfort or anxiety. Looming over the discussion with assurance and deference is essential. Always remember that clarification is preferable, rather of assuming anything about someone's sentiments conclusion at the end. Attraction is a complex phenomenon. It transcends words and direct gestures that women frequently use to show their interest using subliminal indicators like as physical contact, body language shifts in their voice, and the work they do in their appearance. Learning to identify these signals can aid in your deeper development. Deep relationships with the women in your fascination in life is more than merely physical attributes or affectionate actions. It's about trust and emotional connection. Developing understanding between people by being passionately, respectfully, and attentively accessible, you'll be somewhat better prepared. To negotiate the intricacies of attraction and connections to remember, thrive on candid communication, trust, and being able to read and react to each other's cues with consideration and empathy. I appreciate you being here with me today. In investigating these nuanced yet potent indications of attraction, I hope conversation has given you insightful explanations of how attraction functions and how to become more resilient relationships with the individuals in your life. Remember to leave, like, and subscribe. Leave a comment with your ideas. I'd love to know about yours below. Encounters. What small clues have you observed in your relationships? Let's keep going. Talk to each other and share knowledge. Until the next time, be careful and maintain establishing those deep relationships